Hi, it's JJ. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm happy to report to you guys today that the visual search engine platform Pinterest now has clickable hashtag links. For those of you who might have been unaware, who haven't been using Pinterest for business, one of the things you might have noticed is that since 2017, hashtags for the most part don't have any function in terms of being able to click them and being taken away to a separate landing page where you see other types of content with people who use the hashtag. But now, one of my clients noticed that when she did a specific strategy of putting hashtags in the first comment of her idea pins in mobile, that she was finally able to actually click through. And two things happened when she was clicked through. The first thing that happened is that she immediately noticed that there were other creators who had created content similar to hers who had also used the hashtag, or Pinterest had identified some way to put them into that hashtag landing page. And so with that information, she was able to compare the content that she did with other creators who were doing similar type of content. So that was one thing in terms of you want to create content. If you're a content creator for the platform, you want to see what is your competition, who else is out there doing it, and get ideas for them, or at least assess where you fit in with them. So one of the things in terms of assessing where she fit in with at least one of those hashtags, she discovered that she was on page one. Now, this particular client is brand new. She's about 100 followers. She's been on Pinterest, but not actively using it. So this discovery of the fact that she was showing up, had a higher placement and one specific hashtag was great for her, because up until that point, because she's newer, she's yet to be indexed or categorized. When she did content, she wasn't showing up on the first pages, on the earlier search results. So the hashtags and all of those who use hashtags are still a finite number. It's still a really small group of people. So she was able to essentially be a big fish in a small pond compared to those who don't use hashtags, who might be older and established and have a presence and have been properly indexed in Pinterest by Pinterest. And so they would naturally show up higher in search than this person who's a new creator. So as a new content creator, as a new Pinterest creator, using the hashtags was a wonderful way for this client to be placed in front of specific type of audience that actually click or search by clicking. Now, right now, just based on my initial research, the only way that you can see them, the only way that they're activated is in the comments. I haven't seen them activated in description. I haven't seen them activated in the bios, board covers, alt text, or other places. Only in the first comment of a pin. And in this case, she did an idea pin. So that's the only place I've been able to see them activated. So people who are used to, who come on the platform and notice, go to the comment section and see, oh, here are clickable hashtags. Those types of people who click through, irrespective of how they got there, how they discovered it, are going to then find her. And I think there's a category of people who are audiences on social media platforms, beginning with perhaps Gen Y down to Gen Z, and then now the Alpha generation. That's the generation of people who kind of grew up on social media, who are comfortable with hashtags. And so when they go to any platform, one of the first things they do is they search hashtags, and when they see something they like, they go look for other examples in the hashtags. So that's a wonderful opportunity for anyone who's brand new to get in front of audiences that are Gen Y and younger, and present themselves and potentially be discovered by them. So the discoverability aspect of the hashtags, and then also the ability for newer creators, newer Pinterest creators, to have a higher ranking in search is what that hashtag discovery was for us. And that's what we assessed. And that's what I assessed for my clients. Now, so that's the deal with her and how she's used it. So you can do something similar. However, just quickly, the reason why this is kind of like groundbreaking and really interesting is because around 2017, I think that's the date. I'm a relatively new Pinterest marketer, but since I started doing Pinterest marketing around 2020 with this channel, I noticed that hashtags weren't used, they weren't clickable. A lot of Pinterest marketers were advising their clients not to include them, as it's a waste of time. And so they rightfully suggested that the best way, instead of focusing on hashtag, which could be a distraction, which could be like an easy fix, just kind of like throw a bunch of hashtags together and that's it, that be your Pinterest marketing strategy. It's better instead to identify the keywords or the words and phrases that people go to Pinterest, which is the #3 search engine in the world, to discover ideas. When they go there, they go to the search bar and they type. So you want whatever the content that you're doing to include those keywords. So the machines, Pinterest, because it's a sophisticated search engine, uses machine learning, uses object recognition software, using high technology to identify what's in your pin and what is the images or video content that's in your idea pin or your pin graphic. So they don't necessarily need you. However, in the history of search engines, they can use help because those are machines and you're a human being. And so you can select the keywords that human beings are searching for and put those keywords in things like your board cover or your pin description, and even in the alt text, which just means alternative text, which is the portion of visual content that visually impaired people use, their screen readers use to identify what is the visual context. But that's just one extra place for you to identify what's in that pin to help the machines along. So the keyword research, identifying what those key terms are and making sure you help the machines by putting those keywords in your content before you sending it through to get properly indexed in the platform. That's always better because that's more thorough, that's more thoughtful, that's a really good practice because Pinterest is the long game. You do that and it bears fruit later on. Hashtag strategy, for example, is kind of like quick and dirty. So you identify what the hashtags are, you throw them on there and you turn around. And that's why a lot of Pinterest marketers were recommending that instead of focusing on hashtags, that focus on keywords, which is a more sustainable long-term practice for gaining momentum and being successful in Pinterest. And that's why they said that. However, now that they're back, and I'll tell you why I think they're back, I suggest that you incorporate both of them if possible. And why do I think that Pinterest brought back hashtags? I think that, and I predicted in this video here, that Pinterest was skewing younger. I think I predicted this in 2020, 2021, that when I was looking at looking at the feed, looking at my own analytics, I found that the audience was younger and younger and younger. And where traditionally it was a little bit more older, established audience of mainly women who were using the platform. And when Pinterest decided to become a shopping service, which I said in this video, one of the generation of people that was driving that motivation, not just because, the pandemic meant a lot of people were at home, a lot of people were shopping. They saw a tremendous boost in traffic because people were just home. Is that, wow, we have all these people here. How about we make it possible so they don't leave the platform and they shop? So they converted that. The generation of people that were more likely to actually shop on platform are younger generation, Gen Z, Gen Y, alphas, because they grew up doing that. The older generation, Gen X, boomers, the old Pinterest market people, they more likely want to test things out. They're more likely to see it on Pinterest, study it, and it's a longer game towards the purchasing. They're maybe later on go out and try something on before they actually purchase it. Where the younger generation, I think they have no problem with seeing something they like and be like, okay, fine. They're more impulse buyers, where the traditional Pinterest audience are not impulse buyers. They're planner buyers. They would look at this, they would study it, they would curate, they would look aspirationally, and when they're ready to buy, they would buy. They don't necessarily make impulse purchases. So to the extent that Pinterest is skewing younger with younger audiences, that the people that were making the money for them were Gen Z. And then also when you look at the trends, when Pinterest has their Pinterest predicts each year, for the last year, when they identify which generation or which audience sector was driving the trends, for Pinterest identified, I think the majority of those, the generation that was driving the trends were Gen Zs. So it's in the best interest of a platform that is making its money from one generation. That generation is driving the trends. That generation is becoming more and more the platform, that you should actually create a platform that is conducive to the way that they are used to navigating digital spaces. And one of the things that they're really used to is hashtags. They're going to put the hashtags in it. They're going to try to click them nonetheless because that's what they do on these other platforms. So I think that was one of the reasons that Pinterest decided to add them back on, to make them functional for the audiences. And then I think secondly, they're now competing with Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and now Facebook, Meta, for influencers and creators. And influencers and creators are probably telling them, hey, dude, we're trying to help, but we're looking at our pins. They're dropping in reach. You guys are changing the algorithms. we are not, people aren't finding us. Like, I think you should add hashtags, because our people who we're catering to, they're going to be looking for hashtags. We know that if we put hashtags, we have a better likelihood of being shown up in the folks who are searching for a hashtag, who will click for a hashtag. And that's probably a faster, quicker way to being discovered to keywords, which were essentially with the keywords, you're relying on the machines to properly index you and deliver you. With the hashtags, you're not relying on the machines. The actual people can take the initiatives for you. So if you hit the right hashtags, you automatically have a direct link, a direct connection to the people who are clicking their hashtags, and voila, you're going to show up. Versus keyword, when you're relying on the algorithms and the Pinterest and the machines identifying, categorizing, and then placing you in front of your audience. So it's a more direct, interactive, sort of like, in control way for you as a creator to get in front of those important audiences. So that's how I decoded the reason why they turned it back on. I'm glad they did. I've been telling people to do it. Here's a video that I did, a reels that I did sometime, saying, why not put it in hashtags? If they were to turn them on, you don't have to go back. People like me who have like 10 years of being on Pinterest, I would have to go back retroactively and add hashtags to those pins if it's possible. I no longer have to do that. If they turn them back on, they automatically have an automatic way of getting these people. Here's a graph line, 2 graph lines here of what my client discovered. She pinned these things. They didn't really get much reach. The minute she added the hashtags to the comments, they went from 0 to this. She said she got more engagement. She said, wow, she discovered her people. Before then, Pinterest was serving her creators similar to her, but they weren't really from her group, her demographic. And so when she used hashtag like Black Girl Hair, for example, she was like, here they are. I've discovered them. I have a direct route to getting them versus waiting for Pinterest to serve it to me. I can go directly and access them. So that is the difference. And that's why hashtag is different from keywords, but it also has a benefit. It has usage, and it also should be included in your strategy. So this is just the first part. I just discovered this. I just wanted to share it. Let's talk about it below. This video is sponsored by jjgat.com. And then I have in jjgat.com several different resources, including a Pinterest business setup checklist, which I'm also going to link down below, so you can get it through jjgat.com, or you can click it down below and you can discover lots more information. And if you'd like to work with me, I also have in jjgat.com a form so we can potentially work together. I don't work with everybody, and I actually have an application for working with me. And other than that, I have lots of resources available at jjgat.com. So see you there. And let's keep the learning going. Until my next video, when we discuss this more and discuss this in the bottom, I want you to watch this video here, which is going to give you a little bit basic, something about Pinterest in the past. And then this playlist here, and this playlist is just going to give you sort of more Pinterest 101 if you're interested in that. I do have Pinterest marketing playlists also on this channel. So until then, I'll cue my outro music. Boom.